Hi, everybody, and welcome back. This week we are preparing ourselves. We're going to be doing our Eucharist talk next week. We have spent the entire last semester going through the Old Testament covenants to prepare ourselves for the Eucharist talk, because the Eucharist is the new and eternal covenant that lasts forever. So next week will be the Eucharist talk. I will not put out a writing prompt next week because I'm going to send out a quiz that goes along with the Eucharist talk, because I want to make sure that you guys pay attention. Now, if you watch next week's video, you will have absolutely no problem answering the questions, so don't feel stressed about it. But I do want to make sure that you're paying attention and that you're getting all the key concepts associated with it. So this week, to prepare ourselves for next week, we are going to talk about philosophical concepts that will help you better understand the Eucharist. The majority of Catholics that have been interviewed or polled, I guess is the term, have reported that they do not believe that the Eucharist is the true presence of Jesus. And many of you may actually fall into that category. So when I was little, I remember, being a small child and preparing for my first communion, and I was told when I heard the bells ringing at church that the bread was turning into the body of Christ. So naturally, little adorable me with my blonde hair and my cuteness would stare intently at the bread when the priest was holding it up at church, because I was waiting to see it turn into a piece of human flesh. And to my disappointment, that never actually happened. And I was just disappointed. So when I actually got to receive communion and it still tasted like bread, little skeptical Brittany felt bamboozled. And I spent honestly a really good chunk of time just being kind of confused on this concept. And, at that point, I had just accepted, because grown-ups told me to believe it, that it was the body of Christ. So grown-ups said it's the body of Christ. It tasted like bread, but I was like, well, grown-ups told me to believe this, then I'm going to believe it. And, it's very typical of especially my parents' generation. When they're told something, they just say, okay. They don't ask questions. They're like, you're smart. You told me to believe it, so I believe it. And, even now, just to harass my dad, I'll ask him questions. I'm like, hey, Dad, and I know the answer, or I'll know the answer when I go to him. I'm like, Dad, why does the Catholic Church do this? And he's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, well, why do you do it? Because you're supposed to. And we just get into it. Anyway, that's a side tangent. But so we need to look deeply into why the Eucharist is believed to be truly Jesus. And that's going to be a big chunk of next week. But this week, I want to talk about two terms: substance and accidents. These are old school philosophy terms that originated with Aristotle, and they'll help us, these words help us understand reality. These two words mean something completely different in philosophy and church language than they do in like everyday speak. So in everyday language, if we were talking about substance, we would talk about like a sampling of stuff. So like the substance of my desk is wood and varnish, or, if you're in chemistry class, you might be like weighing different substances, like weighing water against, feather. I don't know what you guys do in chemistry class. But you'd be weighing substances. Like the substance of a sandwich might be like bread, which is a carbohydrate, and cheese. And so in everyday language, the term accidents, there are things that occur that we didn't mean to occur, like spilling your drink or falling downstairs. Those are how we see accidents today. So this in no way is, sorry, my hair is like sticking to me. This in no way is how the church meant to use these words. St. Thomas Aquinas, he adapted this terminology from Aristotle to describe the Eucharist. So we're going to look at it the way Thomas Aquinas meant it. A substance for Thomas Aquinas and for the church is what something really is, a particular thing. So this right here, this substance is my dog Rocky. He is a particular substance. Now, substances can also be groups of things. So dogs are substances, but we're looking at Rocky right now. What the thing actually is. This is Rocky. He is a substance. The accidents of Rocky are what he looks like. So he has a tail, he's 80 pounds, he's super handsome, he has brown fur and black fur. Those are his accidents. Now, keep in mind that Rocky is a dog. His substance is a dog. I describe him, his accidents, brown fur, black fur. He has a tail. He has sharp teeth. If you asked me, Brittany, what are the accidents of a tiger? I would say the tiger has brown fur, the tiger has black fur, the tiger has a tail. Those are the exact same terms that I used to describe Rocky. Their substance is different. One is a tiger, one is a dog. So another thing to note as we're going through these descriptions is you might have a dog that looks nothing like Rocky. It might not be 80 pounds, it might be 5 pounds. It may not be brown and black, it might be white, but it is still a dog. Their substance is still a dog because accidents, what they look like, do not define them. Accidents can't exist without a substance to like latch onto. Now, accidents, they can change. It's something that the accidents of something can change without the substance of something changing. So take me. My substance is my Brittany-ness. Okay, I'm in my office mate is laughing at me right now. My Brittany-ness is who I am. You are, whoever you might be. You are Jorge. You are Juan. You are Kylie. Your substance is your ness. So Brittany-ness. My clothing, it doesn't affect my substance. It doesn't matter if I'm in a swimsuit. It doesn't matter if I'm in this outfit. It doesn't matter, if I'm in a winter coat, a summer coat, summer clothes. My accidents, what I'm wearing, does not affect my Brittany-ness. So say I cut my hair off, which I have done before, and it did not look cute. It did not affect my Brittany-ness. I've dyed my hair before. It did not affect my Brittany-ness. So changing your accidents doesn't change who you are. I have tattoos. I have several. Those tattoos altered my appearance a little bit, but they did not change who I was. So looking outside, looking out my window, if we look at the trees, trees go through this process where they have these, this green foliage, then the leaves turn yellow and red and they fall off. The accidents of the tree changes, but in winter, if you looked outside and I was like, what's that? You'd be like, a tree. In spring, if I pointed to it and it looked different because it had flowers on it, I'd be like, what is that? You'd say, a tree. If you looked at it in summer and I said, what is that? You would say a tree, because its accidents have changed, but its substance did not. It remained a tree. So when we are in church and the bread is being held up to be consecrated and becoming the body of Christ, its accidents, what it looks like, does not change. The substance does, what it is at its core. Okay, so that would be like if you took me, my Brittany-ness would change. Not my hair, not my clothing, my Brittany-ness would change. So the bread, it will remain a carbohydrate. It will remain a circle. It will remain the exact same flavor before the consecration, but it will stop being bread and be the body of Christ. I'm thankful for this because, I personally don't really want to eat like a piece of flesh. That would be creepy. And if anybody tries to give you that, please don't eat it. But next week, we're going to get into the why. Why the Eucharist? Why food? Why would Jesus come to us as food? And like I said, small quiz next week. So this week, short video. What I want you to do for your writing prompt is define substance the way the church means it, and define accidents the way the church means it. And then I want you to apply it to what I said about the Eucharist, how your accidents might change, like your hairstyles, your clothing. You remain the same. How does the bread change during consecration, during transubstantiation? So short video and, short writing prompt. It shouldn't be too difficult. You can throw in some examples if it's easier for you to explain through examples. Under 10 minutes. I think that's it. So, all right, next week, Eucharist Talk and Quiz. Bye.